Well, the president will break his relative silence on the fiscal cliff this Friday when he heads to a toy factory in Pennsylvania to push for tax hikes on those top earners, the wealthy. The last we heard from the president was after the election when he gave a news conference saying a majority of us agree with his approach. In other words, a mandate to raise taxes. And tonight, we want to take that quote-unquote mandate and put it into some context and perspective. This is the president's 2012 victory. Here we go. 50, and this is the mandate stuff. 50.6 to the vote for Romney, 47.8. 47.8. Electoral votes, 332. 332. I'm going to have to make some more room here. To Romney's 206. Now, that's impressive, but there's something missing. And what's missing are 7.5 million people. 7.5 million voters from 2008. He received then, and I'm going to write this over here, he received 53% of the vote to McCain's 46%. A little more impressive, don't you think? 365 electoral votes to 173 for McCain. So, wait a minute. That's quite a little difference. A 7.5 million vote fall off in the popular vote and a far less impressive electoral victory this year. Let's look at the legislative branch. Let's look at the Senate and the House. There'll be 55 Democratic senators. 55 Democratic senators in the next session. 45 of them will be Republican. And just 200 Democratic representatives to 234 in the House of Representatives. So that, that's starting to look a little wobbly, isn't it? Till you get down to here, and then it looks pretty impressive for the Republicans. And by the way, when you combine the Senate and the House, there's still a lot more Republicans on Capitol Hill than there are Democrats. So the president's big ideological mandate seems to dissipate a bit when you start looking at that and you look at the state governments where there are, and will be, 30 Republican governors. 30 Republican governors. There will be 19 Democrats across the country and 1 independent. And 26 state legislatures will be controlled. 26 state legislatures will be controlled by Republicans. 19 will be controlled by Democrats, 19 of them. And 4 will have split control. So Nebraska's legislature is nonpartisan, and that makes it easy to work through. And here's another interesting little breakdown. 23 of these states, 23 of the states will have Republican control of the legislature and the governor's house, and the control of both houses of the legislature. 14 states will be Democratic, and having both Democratic governors and Democratic legislatures, both control of both houses. So if you believe in mandates, this thing gets a little complicated. It looks pretty strong for Republicans who seem to be receding politically, at least according to the national liberal media. So I think maybe we should just sort of stop and ask ourselves as we look at the broad canvas of the country and the political power, state and federal, just who is it that has the mandate?